What the New Language Is that Duane wrote about a year ago. Okay, there have been many people who are wondering and thinking about the new language that Duane the Great Writer has created, and understandably so. DUANU will try to be as user-friendly as possible to explain this. The ABCs that we all have been raised with conforms and relates to this one-dimensional, literalized, indoctrinated world of unaware people agreeing to the programming systems, all invented from nothing, of mainly literal politics, literal religion, literal spiritual, literal business, literal schooling, and literal technology, all literalized to keep you unaware of the real you. Do the birds do any of this and destroy their environment at the same time? We have each come here, this place is in space, to further our wake-up process as to what all life is, which is not creation. And in the meantime, we have become very involved with what exists here and usually lose sight of why we did come here in the first place. This is understandable. And so, the new knowledge, aside from literalized control, is needed. Unaware people are taught to comply and obey, to think a certain way, to the contrived conformity and restrictions they have been schooled with. As an example, how many people were actually raised and schooled to learn to completely take part in the all-natural environment, supporting all of us, and to become self-sufficient for themselves? Not at all with the existing one-eyed systems. From the time we each were first raised by our parents and then basically had to go to the indoctrinating system schools, which starts off with grades 1 through 12, what did we really learn with all that early formulation of our lives? And did we learn to survive better, realistically, according to the all-natural environment, supporting everyone here? We were taught and directed to comply and think a certain way to the contrived conformity and restrictions they have become schooled with. We were taught and directed to comply and think according to the invented and restricting systems that have been formulated to control everyone here. This is more than evident. And then, each person has the so-called opportunity to supposedly better themselves by going to a college and university, and possibly a trade school, which all points to becoming more literalized and restricted to those who control the programming systems. Even though in unaware people's minds they are thinking they actually know something, and what is taking place with how they have been trained to agree to something they actually know nothing about. It is not that any of this is good or bad in the literal sense, as it is merely something to experience, but then again, where does it really lead a person to? It is so that we each need creation to wake up to something more. All then can be considered with a personal mind alone. And so the new language helps unaware people do this when they take the time to learn to see more than just their one-dimensional created world here. Unaware people have been taught to think about what they are thinking, and only in terms of how they have been literalized and programmed to do so. So, until a person has the real reference knowledge, which the new language is, then they will continue to project themselves into more unconscious lifetimes of following what they were raised and conditioned with from their lifetimes past. Of course, unaware people do not see this, as they very rarely can see themselves and what they have created as themselves in the personal sense. They only see what they see according to the programming systems they keep agreeing to. Watch the movies. They live and coma as a start. There's only a very few examples as to what is really happening here. The world controllers are showing everything they are doing in the movies and TV because they control the movie industry and they like to show off how proud and arrogant they are with controlling others. You decide your life according to what all life is, with no authorities ever, or you keep letting them decide for you. To see more and be more is a huge journey like no other. Everything here is fear-based, with no resolutions ever in cause and effect creation. All life is more real than anything created or ever known here. Are you ready to get real now? The new language makes sense when you learn to make sense with it. The new language is a reference to all life is now and is to be seen for what it is. It does take a lot to see and be indifferent to the mind-framed restrictions and deception that has been created here, and it is possible now with Rebazar and the Real Universal Guides. For those who want to meet real people, here we is. Sing New You and watch your multi-dimensional dream visions for real answers with Rebazar and Real Universal Guides to start a new journey beyond all the old created restrictions that exist on this planet Earth and in your created consciousness. Rebazar is the answer with helping you see through creation and become more aware and self-sufficient. We offer real guidance and real education like no other. Learn to be sincere in the true sense with all life now. You is the decider of your life, and you can do this for yourself now. Thank you, Duane.